Hey noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. What's up with this virus situation? Hantavirus? Oh, Hantavirus. I apologize profusely. It's not hentai. Terribly so. Okay, let me put myself to full screen for a second. What if I do write hentai virus? What do I get? What images do I get? Okay, it's not too bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. Probably effed up my algorithm, but it's not as bad as I thought. So the Hantavirus, what have we got? CNN, I don't believe a word they say. Let's have a look at full. Man, it really does sound like it. Couldn't they come up with a different name? Hantavirus, cruise passengers will disembark in tightly monitored evacuation. Latest update. So it's on a ship. On a ship. Passengers on the Hantavirus stricken and the Hondius cruise ship will soon be evacuated in an operation that will be directly observed by the Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the World Health Organization Director General, who said Saturday the people would be taken back to their respective countries under strict monitoring. To their respective countries, really? They're gonna do that? I thought they would just put them in a quarantine zone. Timeline. So, issued a lengthy statement to the Spanish island of Tenerife on Saturday saying that he will travel to the island to watch the tightly monitored operation transport passengers of the Hondius, who remain asymptomatic, okay, back to their respective countries. Well, the asymptomatic thing, though, isn't that like depending on the strand, something could be asymptomatic for a longer period of time, but still be contagious. I mean, I would be very careful with that. Passengers will be transported to the island's airport in sealed and guarded vehicles, Ghebreyesus said. Okay, cool. ABC News cited an unnamed official from the Canarias region government of Spain who said passengers will wear full protective equipment and that those who are not ready to be taken to an airplane of their destination will remain on the ship. 14 passengers from Spain will be the first to be transferred. Okay, but what kind of virus are we talking about? UK health authorities identify a new suspected case of hantavirus linked to the cruise ship outbreak. A British man on the remote South Atlantic island Tristan da Cunha. You know what? I really hope this isn't another coronavirus thing again. Let's see what Donald Trump said. President Donald Trump tells reporters that hantavirus outbreak is very much under control and it should be fine, and in adding, when asked if Americans should be worried, I hope not. We'll do the best we can. Okay. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. But then again, someone is complaining. Dr. Gian Marrazzo, CEO of the Infectious Disease Society of America, says the United States is not prepared to handle a hantavirus outbreak after Trump-era cuts to the CDC and USAID, as well as the country's withdrawal from the World Health Organization. Well, I hope she's wrong. Doctors speak up to dispute a viral online claim that ivermectin, an FDA-approved parasitic most commonly used as a dewormer for livestock, could be used to treat hantavirus. Yeah, I hope they don't just start coming up with nonsense solutions. An international team of scientists is working to create a vaccine against hantavirus, the BBC reported. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Public trust when it comes to vaccines is very low, isn't it? So can they make it so quickly? And that is a fair question to ask, particularly if this is some kind of new strand. Can it be created so fast and without testing? Is it safe to take? And that's, by the way, before you start calling me, are you an anti-vaccine? Look, I'm pro-science. I've always been pro-science. However, it is absolutely normal to be afraid of side effects of any medication, even ibuprofen, okay? And so that's fine. There is nothing to be ashamed of if people are like, well, I want to know what's in there that you're putting in my body, one. And two, what are the side effects? How do you know? Because being worried of possible side effects of any type of medication or procedure is absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So if any kind of vaccine is created, it will automatically follow that people won't trust it. Some people will, some people won't. And then, if someone doesn't want to get vaccinated, I think it's their right to choose to not do that. But then they would also have to possibly try to avoid then following other procedures. Like, of course, you have to wash your hands. You have to make sure you don't come into contact with people if you experience any symptoms. So we have to be responsible, okay, when it comes to that. Let's see if there is anything else we can figure out about this. Kind of goes both ways. Gonna go both ways. Fox News: over 100 people have been affected by a norovirus outbreak aboard the Caribbean Princess cruise. So they're telling us about the cruise. I don't know why they're using a different name for the virus. Norovirus outbreak. Is this a different thing? World Health Organization. Let's see what this guy's saying. I swear the last thing we need is another COVID
virus. Given the incubation period of the Andes virus, which can be up to 6 weeks, it's possible that more cases may be reported. While this is a serious incident, WHO assesses the public health risk as low.
Okay, good.
It also shows why the international health regulations exist and how they work. WHO is working with multiple governments and partners on the response under those regulations. Our priorities are to ensure the affected patients receive care, that the remaining passengers on the ship are kept safe and treated with dignity, and to prevent any further spread of the virus.
Cool. So, much about it, but let's see. World Health Organization confirmed the registration. 149 new cases. 149. But are they all on the ship, or are there other cases somewhere else, and do they know where it originates from? The mortality rate for this virus is 40%. Goodness gracious, while the mortality rate for COVID-19 did not exceed 1%. That is insane. This is extremely serious for the markets. Who cares about the markets? The markets? Hantavirus. There we go. Hantavirus. What you need to know. World Health Organization. What do you guys think? Hantaviruses are a group of viruses that naturally infect some rodents and can occasionally infect people. Hantaviruses are present in some rodent species, mostly in the Americas, Europe, and Asia. The disease vary by virus type and location. People usually get infected through contact with infected rodents or their urine, droppings, or saliva. Limited human-to-human transmission of this virus has been documented in some outbreaks. So basically, imagine you get, like, there is an area with food is contaminated, or containers, you touch them, you get the virus from the feces or droppings, whatever the heck, but then it seems like it can pass from human to human. That's it's bad news. What else? All right. So early symptoms, let's have a look. Often feel like many other common illnesses. When people do get sick, symptoms usually begin 1 to 8 weeks after exposure. Fever, headache, muscle aches, stomach pain, nausea, and vomiting. Yeah, it's the usual stuff for a flu, isn't it? Unless they are severe. Like if you vomit every 2 hours, I guess. How to prevent hantavirus? Okay, let's go. Keeping living and working spaces clean. Cool. Sealing openings where rodents can enter. Right. Storing food securely. Yeah. Using safe cleaning methods if rodent droppings are present. All right. Well, this seems dampen contaminated areas before cleaning and avoid dry sweeping or vacuum rodents droppings. You know, this is good to know. So I'm glad that I'm reading this. It's good to know. So I guess, while I don't know if there are any cases in the US as of now, I'll Google it in a second, but if there are, then if you are experiencing a problem with mice, then I would strongly suggest to follow this information 100%. Maybe you might be the time to get that extermination going. At this point, spend the money, mate. Spend the money, mate. Early, intensive, and supportive care by trained health workers makes a real difference in saving lives. Totally. Massive shout out to all medical staff, nurses, and whatnot. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much. There is no licensed specific antiviral treatment or vaccine for hantavirus infection. Yeah, that's the thing. So we don't have the vaccine, and nor do we have an antiviral treatment. So how do they treat the people? 40% of death? Stay informed, stay protected. I 100% agree with that. The biggest mystery about the MV Hondius Hantavirus cruise ship is that why there is only like one person making videos telling the world about what is happening. Like on the ship, you mean? 147 people are on that ship, including the crew, and for days there has only been like one person. Why did they have to put like every time they speak like a 12-year-old girl? One person speaking out. I don't know, maybe they're scared. Not everyone is into social media and making videos. Maybe they have and nobody saw the posts. Why are you fixating on a stupid detail? I mean, if this was containment of information, then there would be zero people speaking about it, right? If authorities were involved and they said you're not allowed to speak and we will censor you, then you wouldn't even have one, right? And why is TikTok and YouTube taking down videos of influencers as speaking about it? What's going on? I guess it would depend. I mean, I'm always, you know me, I'm very much pro freedom of speech, always. If a video's been taken down, we would have to look at the video and what it's saying, right? Because of course, if you're spreading misinformation and you're, for instance, you're telling people to do something that is dangerous, then that could be a problem. When it comes to freedom of speech, of course, it would have to be a matter of the government being involved. But when it comes to a platform, whether it be TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, they have terms of service. So if these people are breaking terms of service, then that's the reason. You have to look at the terms of service before you say, they're being censored. Well, hold on a minute. Did they break terms of service? Because if they did, then yeah, that's why. All right, let's have a look at this one now. Breaking, another lockdown incoming. Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I mean, I know that as content creators, we benefit from lockdowns, but I don't want to be selfish. So my hope is no. My hope is no, because I know that while those who do online work, and whether it be social media, whether it be TikTok, streaming, content creation, whatever, often benefits from situations whereby people are home and watch videos. There are so many people that their ability to provide for their families depends on them being able to leave the apartment and go to work, that I strongly, strongly hope that is not the case and that they don't do any form of lockdown. The Hantavirus, what it actually is, a rare virus you get from rodents, not from other people. Right, but they said that once a person is infected, it could be transmitted to other people. Yeah, it's been in the news because of cruise ship outbreak, but doctors say it's not going to be the next COVID. I hope so. The overall risk to you is still really low. True, that's what we confirmed that. But as you see what I mean, though? They are saying you get it from rodents, not from people. This is dangerous, whoever the heck you are. 42,000 followers. This is dangerous, because if someone reads this and they don't watch the official CDC, WHO, government, medical doctors, whatever the heck, statements, and they believe you, and they're like, oh, okay, well, there are no rodents here, so I don't care, and then maybe they will get infected, because in reality you can get it from another human, so it doesn't originate on the human, but once it's passed on from the rodent species, then you can actually connect. So this is dangerous. You could cause death. So what the heck are you doing? Okay, do not make statements of stuff you don't know anything about. I myself am not making statements. I'm listening to the experts, because what the heck do I know? Anyways, how do you catch it? From rodents only. You breathe in tiny dust particles of the mouth, rat, pee, poop, blah, 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 abandoned building. Okay, garage, cabin, shed. You can also get it from a bite, but that's rare. From other people, almost never. But that's not what the CDC said. The only exception is the Andes strain in South America, and even then, you'd need to be in close contact for a long time, like sharing a room. Yeah, very unlikely, right? Like offices, living with people. What are you on about? That's what's going on with the cruise ship. What it feels like, this looks like written by AI. This is AI. I refuse to read it. I refuse to read it. No. All right, there is a doctor here. Let's see. Let's watch this last one, and let's have a look.
So, should people be concerned about Hantavirus on the everyday person who lives, I know, say in Austin, Texas, right here now?
Right.
I mean, no. You should be aware that, hantavirus could exist in rodent feces and urine, and if you go sweep out your shed to make sure it's well ventilated, but ultimately, no. This is not a fast-moving virus.
Good.
It is contagious several weeks after the person is infected. But like I say, we don't know a whole lot about it, because so very few people have been infected with it. But it does appear to be contagious right before bad symptoms begin.
Which is bad news. You would rather it being contagious after the symptoms, because if you are symptomless, you think you're fine, and instead you're acting as a vector.
but the likelihood of encountering it is so minuscule.
Good to hear.
That, no, I think you just watch out where you clean up after rodents, and you'll be fine.
Okay, that's fine. The only thing I would add to that, though, is that if you do know people that are experiencing symptoms, even if you believe it's probably just a flu, perhaps don't meet them. Take some time and wait for them to heal, and maybe then interact. That's probably what I would say in this situation. Sixth case of hantavirus now confirmed and 2 more suspected, with the ship at the center of the deadly outbreak about to come into port. CNN's Melissa Bell has the latest. So that's a problem, though. Of course, we can't keep the ship in the sea, but could they send like CDC personnel into the ship for treatment before it lands? Wouldn't that be safer? What do you guys know? What do you guys think? What happened on the cruise ship if the hantavirus transmits poorly between humans? Well, they must have had like a rodent infestation. That's what it must be. So Korea University Vaccine Innovation Center collaborates with Moderna on the mRNA-based hantavirus vaccine development. A new Korean research investment for global health technology fund to advance innovative neglected disease technology. Well, I guess we'll keep an eye on this, but definitely be careful if you live in the countryside or if you have a rodent problem. And I think wash your hands and use what is it called? Goodness gracious, I'm a little sleep deprived, guys. I've just had a baby. I can't think of words. Anyways, keep sterile. I guess that's what I mean. Have a good one.